Let's first break that story that's developed just a short while ago. Confirmed now and official. A massive diplomatic coup for India and Prime Minister Modi. US President Barack Obama will grace the Republic Day parade this year as the chief guest. That's less than 2 months away, the 2015 Republic Day parade. Prime Minister Modi first tweeting that he had invited President Obama to be the first US president to visit. And then you got Mr. Obama through the National Security Council saying he will travel to India in January 2015 to participate in the Republic Day parade as the chief guest. Let me go straight across to Javed Ansari, who's joining us at the moment to give us a sense. Javed, tell me, big story breaking. Narendra Modi is scoring a bit of a diplomatic coup there by getting the US president. Was this fixed while the Prime Minister was in the US, or has it just happened in the last 24 hours?
No, this was certainly fixed. This issue was broached when the two leaders met at the G20 summit, and thereafter both sides have been at work. It was synchronized. First, India went public with the invitation, and shortly after that the National Security Council accepted and made the announcement that President Obama has very gracefully accepted and decided to attend the 26th January. A few minutes after that, Mr. Akbaruddin from the MEA came on air and he confirmed the same. So it just underlines the fact that this is a huge diplomatic coup for Mr. Narendra Modi, and this is for the first time that the US president will be attending the Republic Day parade as the chief guest.
What we are gathering, of course, Javed, is that during the meetings in Myanmar and the other meetings that have been held between the two leaders at the G20, Mr. Modi was pushing for this, but it represents a huge swing. Just a few months ago, in a sense, Mr. Modi had still not officially got his visa to travel to the United States. It appears that there is something seems to have happened to convince the Americans they now need to really desperately rework and remend their relations with India and Mr. Modi in particular.
Well, absolutely, and the chemistry is there for the world to see. At the G20 summit, President Obama walked up to Prime Minister, and Modi said, he says, "You're the man. You're the guy who gets everything done." And he made it a point to reach out to Prime Minister Modi. So it's there. It's evident that Mr. Modi has found a place in the American administration. He's managed to, and it's ironical that the same administration had denied him a visa. Now they're bending over backwards to accommodate him. Certainly, all credit to Prime Minister Modi for getting this.
Okay, so Prime Minister Modi has pulled off a diplomatic coup there. Javed Ansari giving us our top story this evening. Thanks very much. Let's turn then to the other big story that we're tracking. Uttar Pradesh, where its Minister for Minority Affairs, Azam Khan, is once again stirring up a controversy. He now wants India's heritage, the Taj, to be handed over to the Waqf Board. Khan's claim made yesterday has sparked off a massive political controversy. Let's take a look at why Azam Khan is always in the news.
This World Heritage Site is now in the midst of a brewing controversy and could be the next political battleground between Uttar Pradesh and the centre. Sparked by Uttar Pradesh's Minority Affairs and Waqf Minister, Azam Khan.
हम चाहते हैं कि इसे सुन्नी सेंट्रल वक्फ बोर्ड को दे दिया जाए ताकि वो बाकायदा इसका अपना एक सिस्टम बनाए, निजाम रखे.
Staking claim to the Taj Mahal, Khan wants the mausoleum handed over to the Waqf Board.
सस्ती अगर इमारत है तो वक्फ बोर्ड में होगा और महंगी इमारत है, आमदनी की इमारत है तो भारत सरकार उसका पैसा लेगी.
Justifying his demand by suggesting that the income from Taj Mahal can be used for education.
ताज महल कम से कम 2 यूनिवर्सिटियां बना सकता है और चला सकता है.
Muslim clerics adding religious overtones to Azam's claim. They want the monument to be thrown open to Muslims for prayers.
उसके अंदर जो मस्जिद है उसमें 5 वक्त की नमाज पढ़ने की परमिशन होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि मस्जिद का मकसद खाली ये नहीं होता कि आप उसको एक नेशनल मॉन्यूमेंट बना के रखें.
But others see Azam's statement as far-fetched and political. So does Azam Khan's economic justification hold any ground? The revenue earned from the Taj Mahal in the last year has been close to 22 crore rupees. But the minister's demand could in fact hurt the industry built around it.
ये राष्ट्रीय धरोहर है, इस पर कोई राजनीति नहीं होनी चाहिए, ये गलत है। इस तरह से जो लोग कहेंगे पर्यटक व्यवसायी इसका घोर विरोध करेंगे और इनको शहर में घुसने नहीं देंगे।
It's not the first time that Uttar Pradesh's minority minister has sparked controversy. But brushing India's heritage with a political and religious colour is perhaps the tasteless of them all. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
And that's not the only controversy the Samajwadi Party finds itself tonight, because its Supremo Mulayam Singh's 75th birthday is being celebrated in Azam Khan country in Rampur. He is supposed to go atop an imported Victorian buggy that's made its way to the city of Azam Khan, leading a cavalcade of 50 cars carrying about 40 state ministers. Large welcome gates have been put up. The big celebrations are going on through the evening and the night. So Mulayam Singh once again finds himself in the eyes of a controversy. And this is what Azam Khan had to say about the funding of this entire birthday celebration.
75 फीट का केक नेताजी के जन्मदिन पर 75 काटा जाएगा।
तालिबानी फंड, तालिबान से आया है, कुछ दाऊद ने दिया है, कुछ अबू सलेम ने दिया है, कुछ वो जो मर गए आतंकवादी थे।
Okay, let's raise the big question. I want to first focus on the Taj. Should the Taj Mahal be left out of any kind of politics? Why is the Taj being dragged into the politics? Let's move straight to our talking point. Joining me now, distinguished historian Mushirul Hasan is with me in the studio. I'm also joined by Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party, Sudhanshu Mittal of the BJP, and Sudhindra Baduria of the BSP. I want to come to you, Gaurav Bhatia, straight. You're the man in the spot today. Your leader is saying that please hand over the Taj Mahal, national monument, to the Waqf board. Allow prayers there 5 times a day. It's a mausoleum. Do you believe that this is the kind of statement a senior leader should be making?
Rajdeep, I heard you saying that there shouldn't be any politics over Taj. And I agree with you that there should be no politics over Taj. Mr. Azam Khan had made a statement yesterday which the media was playing, and today when he was asked the same question, he clearly said that Taj belongs to everyone and it's a national monument.
So he seems to have changed in 24 hours. Mr. Azam Khan 24 hours ago was saying that this is a mausoleum, it should be handed to the Waqf board, prayers should be allowed 5 times a day, and all the money that is collected from tourism to the Taj should be handed to the Waqf board. Something seems to have changed if he suddenly now believes it's a national monument.
Let me come to the second point, Rajdeep. He is raising a point that the funds that are generated from, the monument, the Taj, should be utilized for upliftment of the deprived community. And I think that there are genuine concerns that the state government has. Just last week, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav had written to the Prime Minister saying that there are certain concerns of security, of queues for ticketing, which is a lot of inconvenience for the visitors, and also making the area green. The state government has been acting on it, but since it comes under the ASI and central government, the central government has not paid heed to it. So I think there is a larger question.
There is no larger question, sir. Sir, those are different issues. Those are different issues. Security at the Taj is a different issue. This seems to be clearly an attempt being made to, in a sense, cater to a section of his vote bank.
I will make a very candid confession, if you allow me to, which is very relevant.
Yes.
That the matter relating to Taj, whether it should be a Waqf property or not, I think Mr. Bhadoria today pointed out, and he is correct, even I had those details, is being heard by the Supreme Court of India.
Yes.
So I think, this is something that I will also bring to the notice of the leadership within the party.
So you concede that your leader was out of line. You concede that Mr. Azam Khan should have avoided making the kind of statement he did.
I am not, please don't put words in my mouth, Rajdeep. I am saying that as a responsible person, as a lawyer and as a citizen and as a party person, it is my duty to bring to notice the correct facts, and I will do that because it is a matter pending. We are not like the BJP. When the matter is pending before the Supreme Court, it is sub judice. We will say that Ram temple would be built. We are not like that. And I have no qualms in saying that I will act in a responsible manner. This is something which is relevant.
Because let's be honest, Gaurav Bhatia, the real challenge is for the existing Waqf properties to be better used. There are vast Waqf properties across the country that haven't been used in the way that they should. The Samajwadi Party, rather than focus on that, is simply playing to the gallery today.
No,
Azam Khan loves to play to the gallery.
Not correct.
The fact is, Azam Khan loves to play to the gallery.
I will answer that. Mr. Azam Khan, as the minister of that department, has taken immense efforts, and he is ensured that separate funds are given to Waqf boards, and the property of the Waqf board is made free, so that no, Rajdeep, I think factually those details are not available with you. I can always give those details to show you how the Waqf department has worked for the betterment of Waqf boards, their property which were taken over by certain people, and people with dubious backgrounds have been freed from their hands.
Can I take that to Sudhanshu Mittal and come back to the issue you raised? Sudhanshu Mittal, you heard what Gaurav Bhatia is saying. Fact is, Supreme Court in its order of December 2005 had stayed the Sunni Waqf Board's order declaring the Taj Mahal a Waqf property. The Archaeological Survey of India then challenged that order at the time. It's still before the courts. Do you believe that the best thing that politicians across the spectrum, BJP, Samajwadi Party, BSP, anyone, should simply keep the Taj out of politics? The Taj is a national monument. It's not anyone's personal property, neither Azam Khan's or anyone else's.
I don't think there can be a debate about the status of Taj. I think it's a jewel in the crown of India. A monument which is integral part of the identity of India.
Yes.
And to bring it down to such a controversial level of claiming it to be a Waqf board property, or that the proceeds of it should be given to the Waqf board for spending, I think it is deplorable. It only reflects the priorities which the UP government or its ministers have. But as far as Mr. Azam Khan is concerned, I don't think we should be surprised by the statement he's made, because all what he does is to make outlandish statements just to be news. He just wants to outrage the sensibility of people.
Gaurav Bhatia, do respond. No, hold on, Sudhanshu. Gaurav Bhatia, respond to that, because the statements by their nature are outlandish. Today he has said, when asked about the celebration that Mulayam Singh Yadav is having for his 75th birthday, he sarcastically remarked, "I'm getting the money from Dawood Ibrahim and the Taliban." It seems that Azam Khan thrives on controversy. You remember during the elections, he seemed to suggest that the sacrifices made on the Kargil mountains were made by Muslim soldiers. Now, why do you need to make statements that you know will provoke controversy? It does no credit to your party. It does no credit to the community.
Rajdeep, you can ask me any question that you want, and I am prepared to answer those. But Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal taking a high moral ground when Giriraj Singh, Mr. Yogi Adityanath, Mr. Lakshmikant Bajpai talk about Shuddhikaran, love jihad and Hindu Rashtra, I think does not augur very well. And I am not here to, answer questions raised by Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal. But at the same time, you were talking about Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav's birthday being celebrated. Before I leave this discussion, I would like to raise a larger point that the funds that are being utilized for the celebration are funds of the Samajwadi Party and of the Samajwadi Party workers. There is no misuse of public exchequer.
So the party, the Socialist Party, the People's Party now has enough funds to stage a grand spectacle. You're saying the Samajwadi Party is paying this money
Rajiv, I have not completed myself. Just allow me 2 minutes, because I think
you said it's a Samajwadi Party. Does Samajwad allow these kind of grand birthday celebrations? Is this part of Samajwad?
Yes. The question is, what are we celebrating today? We are celebrating the birthday of a person who has given 55 years as a public person, and he has fought for the downtrodden, he has fought for socialism, and he has celebrated 74 birthdays which is with his close friends. Never there has been a celebration on his birthday. If all the party workers came together to celebrate this special day for what all he has done for the nation and for the society, I don't think
You
as
used
long
to
as
criticize Mayawati's
wastage of
extravagant
public
ways.
funds.
You used to criticize Mayawati's
Yes, because she
extravagant
was
ways.
using.
Now you're
Rajdeep,
using the same
please
kind of birthday
understand
celebration.
the
Mulayam
distinction.
in a buggy.
I want to show you. I want to show the distinction because she was misusing public funds. There was a garland
May I
of
also come in this
22
debate when
just a
from
minute,
black
just a
money,
minute.
DSP
and
chief's name is
she
being
wasted
unnecessarily dragged into this
11,000
debate.
crores in parks and in statues
can I
in
say
UP
something?
in the 5 years that she was the chief minister.
What?
So I think wastage of public funds is a different question which you should be raising, and the BJP should also
Rajdeep,
answer.
can I say something?
when
I'm going to
swearing
ask-
in ceremonies.
I'm going to ask one question each. I'm going to ask a
feud
question
between
each
the
to both the
BJP and
BJP. Just a
Samajwadi should be
minute.
kept
Just
out
a
of
minute.
it.
No cross talk, Mr. Baduria. I'm going to ask a question to each of you. First to you, Mr. Baduria. Today, when you are criticizing a Mulayam Singh, for example, over his birthday, the fact is Mayawati's birthday, according to Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, was celebrated out of state exchequer. He is claiming this is money of the Samajwadi Party. That's the difference, first of all. How do you respond to that? Or when it comes to birthdays today, every political party likes to make a statement. The bigger the birthday celebration, the happier they seem to feel.
I thought this debate was on the statement of Azam Khan. However, I will respond to the question that you have raised. But first I will respond to the debate which you
No,
have
first
called
you
me
respond
on.
to this and I'll come back to the
Mr.
Taj
Azam
question.
Khan,
I want a quick, because you wanted to respond
No, I
to
will
what
come on
was said
both.
by Gaurav Bhatia.
Of course, I'm coming to that. I will
No, please start
answer
with
the
that.
entire thing in totality. Yeah, I will answer the entire thing in totality because Shri Mulayam Singh Yadav represents a certain ideology which he professes that he is a follower of Ram Manohar Lohia, which is a complete farce. Lohia would have
Rajdeep, I
never
thought
allowed a thing
Mayawati
of this
also
kind.
Idealized
Yes, I will come to that. I am coming now to
Ambedkar ji never
Mayawati's money.
Ambedkar ji
Mayawati never brought buggies
never spoke about
of.
splurging
Mayawati
money.
never brought buggies of.
No, Mayawati spent
Mayawati never
11,000
brought
crores on parks
Ma-
and statues.
Mayawati
Mayawati's
never
regime, we
brought
saw government
buggies
servants
of
losing
the
life
Queen
because
stop the
money was
cross talk
being
in
extorted from
Victoria.
him. For
Mayawati
Mayawati's
never
birthday.
represented
Mr.
that
Bhadolia is
they
not getting that.
Can we stop the cross talk, please?
No, hold on. I'm going to ask my producer because we don't want cross talk. So, no cross talk on News Today at 9 has no cross talk. So, sorry, sir.
That he's celebrating his 75th birthday.
Okay.
He celebrates every
What
year
is happening
in
here?
Sefai. Not only does the birthday celebration take all kind of celebration from Sunny Leone
Bhadolia ji
to
has
all
not
those
answered
people,
the question you
belly
asked him,
dancers,
Mr.
and
Okay.
to kind of
Rajdeep,
things
he
that
didn't answer
Mulayam
the
Singh
Can I say something now?
Okay, I'm going to for a moment.
Darling.
I don't want to make it SP versus BSP. Let me return then once again to the Taj question. You know, Sudhanshu Mittal, before I come to Mushirul Hasan to give us a historical perspective, your BJP president of UP, Lakshmikant Bajpai, said Taj Mahal was initially a temple. My worry is that Taj is getting caught in an unnecessary
Yes,
political
absolutely.
controversy. Why should the Taj Mahal be caught in this kind of controversy? Your leader also says Taj was initially a temple. These are the kind of outlandish statements that seem to reflect the misplaced priorities of UP politicians. Azam Khan makes some statements and the BJP makes similarly outlandish statements.
No. I don't think these are comparable. First, let me give a fact which Mr. Bhatia doesn't seem to be knowing. 80% of the fund collected out of the tickets of Taj is handed over to the Agra Development Authority for it to spend. So, this money is already spent in UP. Secondly, I thought that the party would completely distance itself from this kind of a ridiculous statement, which is only aimed at communalizing every single issue which comes up in UP. Instead, look at the priorities. Instead of concentrating on the real-time issues like what? Employment, law and order, business, education. What is the priority? Call somebody a dog. Say the Kargil heroes were not Hindus but only Muslims. Say that Taj Mahal should be handed. And look, this seems to be a pattern in all this kind of a talk which is going on in UP, because they want to deflect the attention from the real-time issues which the people of UP are facing. I also want the entire community to please take cognizance of this fact that on behalf of the community, such ridiculous statements which are demeaning nationally important monuments are being made just to criminalize everything.
Okay, you make an important point. You make an important point that the Samajwadi Party is moving. Just a minute. You make an important point. Samajwadi Party is moving away from real issues, you are saying, and trying to communalize every issue available. Do you see it that way, Professor Mushirul Hasan? This entire issue of whether the Taj belongs to the Waqf Board has been raised in the past as well. But the manner in which politicians like Azam Khan seem to be raising it seem to suggest that they have a clear political agenda in somewhere or the other, claiming to represent the community and even communalizing a national monument like the Taj. Does it worry you as a historian today?
Well, it does. I think it's
as a citizen, as a historian?
I think it's a very silly proposition, and it's a very unfortunate controversy that he has raised. Because the Waqf Board has absolutely no claim over the Taj. Historically speaking, the Waqf Board has no claim over the Taj Mahal. The Taj Mahal is a national monument. It is part of a national heritage, and that is how it should stay. You were quite right when you pointed out in your introductory remark that there is plenty of funds available with the Waqf Board, enormous amounts of funds, and those funds have been squandered. So the money that the Taj Mahal is able to raise should be actually spent on the upkeep of the monument itself. It does require large sums of money to keep it going. So
and should it be kept away from, the UP politicians like Azam Khan almost seem to believe that they have a right over it. If you look at the law itself, there's a legal grey area about the ownership of historical monuments like the Taj Mahal. Irfan Habib, historian quoted in Frontline, said, if the provisions of the Central Waqf Board are what the UP Sunni Central Waqf Board claims they are, then there is a need for a fresh parliamentary legislation to reconcile this Ancient Monuments Act with the Central Waqf Board Act, exclude protected monuments from the purview of the Waqf Act.
Yeah, quite right. I would go along with Professor.
So exclude all national monuments from the Waqf Act. Can today an Azam Khan claim that this was a mausoleum, that Shah Jahan wanted it to go to the Waqf Board? Do you believe that these are arguments that are tenable?
No, these are completely untenable arguments. I mean, Shah Jahan did not buy it from the Waqf Board. Shah Jahan did not bequeath it to the Waqf Board. So what are we talking about? It has remained a national monument. It has been part of the archaeological list, listed in the Archaeological Survey of India, and its maintenance and upkeep has been the responsibility of the Archaeological Survey of India from the days of Curzon, Lord Curzon. So this whole claim is quite unjustified and quite unnecessary.
Do you also see it as Sudhanshu Mittal is suggesting that it is communal? That somewhere deep down in this, Azam Khan is claiming through this to represent, he seems to be catering to the worst kind of stereotype that maybe the majority community today has of minority group leaders, that they only represent interests of their own community and they will do anything to push that.
Well, if that is the case, then it's very unfortunate again, because the Samajwadi Party is seen as a secular party and its agenda is considered to be a secular agenda.
Has that secular agenda become a Muslims only agenda? Has that somewhere? The likes of Azam Khan today do not represent that secular agenda. They represent a Muslims only politics.
Well, I don't want
or to Muslims first politics.
I don't want to comment on an individual and his politics. In the specific case of this controversy, I think he has raised fears in certain quarters which are fairly justified. And I think for a senior politician like him, he'd do well, not to stir up such controversies in future.
But I'm just wondering, and Sudhindra Baduria, you're also a politician from the other major... Just a minute. Sudhindra Baduria, you're also a politician from the other major party of UP, and the feeling is that UP parties and UP politicians increasingly make outlandish statements, raise issues which are frankly not relevant to the average Muslim or the average Hindu on the streets of UP. They are not interested about the Taj Mahal debate, but Azam Khan will focus on that. They don't want their leaders necessarily to have these extravagant birthday celebrations that waste public expenditure, and yet Mulayam Singh does that. Are UP politicians, whether it's Mayawati or Mulayam, losing the plot? You don't focus on real issues. You build statues, you have birthday celebrations, you bring the Taj also into controversy.
I mean, as far as the Taj is concerned, we have not brought it into controversy. It was in 2013 Azam Khan himself said that the Taj Mahal should be razed to the ground because it represented a king's dreams which he wanted to fulfill for his queen. So, and a lot of money was squandered on it. So, Azam Khan has the habit of doing it. Insofar as the BSP is concerned, it is committed to the agenda of the Dalits, and it has shown over the years that it.
But you can't be committed by building statues.
Of its dream will continue.
It's not by building statues. Azam Khan reaches out to
pursuing of this agenda.
You know, let's be honest. It's one thing to talk of Dalit empowerment and build statues. Azam Khan talks of Muslim empowerment and then makes the kind of statements that he does.
Because in India there were no memorials being created. So a memorial was created in Lucknow and in Noida to commemorate to the memories of the great Dalit leaders like Baba Sahab, like Mahatma Phule, like Savitri Phule, and the likes of them.
And have Mayawati there.
And similarly, this was in. That is why it is called the Dalit Memorial.
You know, let's be clear.
If this was done by the other political parties, we would have welcomed it, but they did not do it on the 65 years of independence.
Let's be clear. Sudhanshu Mittal, you're smiling through this program and trying to take the moral high ground. But let's be clear. It's not as if UP's politicians of the BJP have raised the kind of bread and butter and real-time issues that you are speaking of in this program. We've seen during the by-election that took place the kind of love jihad politics that was raised by Yogi Adityanath. The fact is, UP's politicians don't like to speak of real issues. Azam Khan, Adityanath all typify this kind of politics which is being practiced in UP.
Rajdeep, what are we discussing today?
We are discussing the failure of our political class to focus on real issues, to make outlandish statements so that they get prime time space.
We have discussed all that in the past.
Yes.
I think we have discussed that in the past. We are discussing a fresh move which has been made by a man keeping in view a communal agenda. I always say